What up, EA Sports?
Hey, Derek. We're back.
What up, you guys?
Whew, man. What a movie.
$1 million.
Baby.
That good, huh?
Yeah, so I watched it like late night. I got home one night and I was like, I can't sleep, so I'm gonna watch this movie.
Yeah.
And I watched the movie and I was like, oh, I really can't sleep. Like, Jesus. It was rough. It was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it definitely made me cry. You know what it was? It's a sports movie. It's bound to happen.
It's gonna. I know you.
Yeah. The part that got me is like the first time she's being fitted for the wheelchair, and she's like, it's gonna take like 8 to 12 hours a day to get her ready for the wheelchair, And she looks back at Clint Eastwood and she's smiling at him.
Yeah.
It's like, God, you're still the best.
Still the best.
She never stops being the best.
Stops being the greatest person you've ever seen in your entire life.
She's never stops being the best. It's crazy. Everyone in this movie can fucking act.
Everyone
can act.
Top to bottom.
I had no idea you could do so much when you can't move anything below your neck. I had no idea. Hilary Swank is amazing. Amazing.
You killed it.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you.
That's what we've been talking about it.
We really are so proud. She killed it, bro.
She did. She was amazing. Clint killed it. That's what, because I had to look up who won the Academy Award that year for Best Actor, and it's like, oh, if Clint didn't win, Jamie Foxx's Ray must have been amazing.
Ray is on the list, everybody.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen
Catch that episode.
Yeah, but my God, I mean, act from top to bottom. Jay Baruchel can act really well. I didn't expect that. Like dramatic acting.
Danger.
I can't believe none of the other boxers stepped in and helped him out.
Oh yeah, they were cheering it on.
Yeah, right? What the fuck? You know he can't fight.
Morgan Freeman should have been mad at everybody.
Yeah, he should have been really mad at everybody.
He should have been upset. He should have been upset at him the most.
Yeah.
But everybody else should have been like, get out.
Well, he murdered him with one hand. That was dope.
Yeah, he did. He beat the shit out the dude.
Yeah,
bro.
well, that dude deserved it. He was awful.
God, but good actor.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking Captain America's sidekick, man. There's a reason you're a sidekick. That also made me tear up when he came back, when Jay Baruchel came back.
Yeah.
He was like, I can lose one fight. It's okay. I'm going to go back to training.
He tells him to go get his gloves on.
Yeah. Everyone's story arc was really good.
Yeah.
Big Willie's story arc was good.
Yeah, Big Willie wins a title. Like, oh my God, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and Clint had to go through that to be able to deal with her. And then she fucking dies at the end of the movie.
She dies. He has to let go. He has to learn how to let go. Isn't that crazy? That's the whole point. I think he stops writing his daughter. He's like, he just has to learn how to let go.
Also, when you find out the whole movie is just a letter.
To his daughter? Yeah.
Love movies like that, bro.
Yeah, man. And it's just like, man, I hope you know. What
kind of man he was.
Yeah, he might have fucked up with you, but he cared.
Man, he kills her.
Yeah.
That's how you know a great movie, bro. Like, man, they kill the main character.
And you're like, thank God.
Right?
Thank God. I'm so happy. She got what she wanted.
That fucking Blue Bear, by the way. She should be in jail.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Also, the fight would have been, that's the one, everything in the movie is so realistic.
Except the
that
fight.
It's like, nope, it had been ended. That first, when she hits her on the ground, when they're taking a point away,
yeah,
and then she hits her on the ground.
The fight's over.
Done.
Yeah.
Over fight.
You lost.
Yeah. Oh, and you're probably out of boxing.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And especially to a fan favorite. Everyone loves Makushla.
It's also like on HBO.
That's also a good point.
It's an HBO fight.
That's also a good point.
Everyone's watching this.
Yeah. Man, that was just a heavy movie.
Yeah.
It's heavy, but it was good.
Did I miss anything?
It wasn't slow. That's all I want to say. It wasn't slow.
Yeah.
Something was always happening.
I love the pacing is amazing.
Yeah.
2 hours something movie, it feels like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
The pacing's perfect. Did I miss anything? What did I not hit? Anything like that?
Okay. Well, you know what's fun? When you were, for whatever reason, when you were telling me, I thought the entire time Clint Eastwood lived in the gym and not Morgan Freeman. So when that happened, I was like, oh! Because I distinctly thought, before I figured that out, where does Morgan Freeman live? And then I got a lot of answers.
That's funny.
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, so that was cool. Her mom is character actress Margot Martindale. You seen BoJack Horseman?
BoJack Horseman.
Yeah,
God damn.
that's her mom.
She's great.
Yeah. Oh, her whole family is terrible.
Yeah, they kill it.
Even the brother for one scene. It's like, God,
dude, you're awful.
But why do you hate her specifically? Why do you all hate her specifically?
She made it out.
Yeah.
She made it out.
She worked hard. Her sister, I didn't really get this when you're telling me, was claiming a dead kid as a dependent.
Yeah.
How far are you gone?
Like, you were never there.
You were never there. Or that's just like a level of poverty that I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
But
you're far gone, and it's a level of poverty that motherfuckers can't make, bro. That shit, you making decisions like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, love is real.
Right.
It's a real thing.
Right.
It's a real fucking thing,
Like
bro. So you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to treat you wouldn't treat somebody like that, sister or not, anybody,
or your dead child, for money.
Yeah, bro. So it's a
Yeah. Her sister was played. Do you know who Ricky Lindholm is? You know that the girl comedy duo, they sing Garfunkel notes?
Yeah.
She's one of them.
Damn.
Yeah. And you know Natasha Leggero's show, Another Period or Another History?
Yeah.
Another Period? I think it's Another Period.
What? I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
Drunk History?
A different period.
A different period?
Where she's like in the Victorian era dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the other main character in that. She's the blonde girl.
Damn.
Yeah. So there's people you know in this movie from top to bottom.
And everyone can act.
Everyone can act.
God damn.
Yeah, I was fully, because when I first saw Clint Eastwood, I was like, this is like Gran Torino. And then I just completely got lost. I was like, oh, damn, he got me.
Yeah, it's not that same guy.
No, I'm watching this like, oh my God, that's Frankie.
It's Frankie.
Yeah, Frankie.
Morgan Freeman. I mean, everyone, dude. Morgan Freeman is amazing.
You didn't tell me he had a fucked up eye.
I mean, I didn't tell you till later. Yeah,
I was he was blind, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, you could see that he's blind from the get-go.
Yeah, right from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Also, it's kind of funny. Although, like, it's so many funny moments in it.
A lot of callbacks.
A lot of callbacks.
It was good. Everything went full circle. It was very well written. I don't really have, other than that fight scene, I don't have anything negative to say about this movie.
No, that's not even, like, I get that had to happen so the movie could, but, you know, yeah, that's it. It's perfect, man. I told you, it's up there. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I
can see that.
I love it.
I can see that. It's a good movie.
It gets me every time.
I will watch this again.
Gets you every time. Frankie, man.
Well, no, I mean, I forgot her name. I'll just call her Hilary Swank the entire time.
Yeah, of course. It's Hilary Swank. That's all she get, bro. Hilary Swank, you became yourself.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being you, Hilary. But yeah, that's one of my favorite movie characters of all time.
Oh, yeah.
So insanely likable. Hard work, man. Hard work.
Hitting that bag, bro. Just hitting that bag.
Every day until everyone's done hitting it. You just hit it.
Just keep hitting it, bro. Just never stop. Great movie.
$1 Million Baby, everybody.
What up, EA?
What's up, Derek?
You ready?
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel like this is a movie everyone's going to hate me for not knowing.
Hassan Ahmad?
Yes.
What happens in the movie Zoolander? Fuck you, man. You don't get to know anything.
God damn. All right.
A lot of emotion, I know.
I know. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. All right. So, you know how it is. You know how Ben Stiller.
Okay. So you know one thing?
Yeah. Ben Stiller is a model.
Okay.
I do know that. And he is on the rise. He's on the rise, right?
Yeah.
And, does some funny shit. Probably like a ladies' man. All the ladies love him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies love him.
Ladies love him.
Ladies
but
gotta love him.
He's all about his work. He's trying to be.
Oh, he's a worker.
Oh, yeah.
He's a worker man.
Trying to be the best model out there. Oh, I hate myself.
Oh, you're nailing it.
Yeah.
You're fucking nailing it.
But you know what's in his way?
What?
I think Will Ferrell. Pretty sure Will Ferrell's in this.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell
Always
is
in the way.
Yeah, not always in the way.
Oh.
All right, don't shit talk Will Ferrell
Sorry.
like that. Yeah, but he's in the way this time. Will Ferrell. He's a designer, and he keeps trying to bring Ben Stiller down, probably because Will Ferrell might have been the top model at one point.
Yeah.
You know? And then at some point they probably have like a weird model off. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Just the idea of that to
If I had to,
you.
a model off.
I
with
respected the idea that to you sounds funny.
That sounds funny. Yeah, it's just people looking smolderingly looking into a camera.
That's funny.
But at each other. That's funny.
That is funny.
That is funny. Come on, I can write. You know, and then you know, he you know, there's like this big fashion show at probably like Paris. That's where the climax of it.
What happens? How does it resolve?
Will Ferrell somehow convinces Ben Stiller to go to the wrong place or some shit because Ben Stiller's stupid as fuck, probably. You know, but Ben Stiller gets there in time and wins the model off.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he becomes the top model.
He becomes Tyra Banks' next top model.
Yeah, he becomes Tyra Banks, and that's Zoolander. Everybody.
That is the best one yet, bud.
Please don't hate me.
You ready?
Let's do this. I should have seen this movie. Out of all the movies I should have seen, I probably should have seen this.
You should have saw this. I don't know how this one got by you.
I watch Comedy Central all the time.
Yeah.
You would think.
Right?
Mm.
So, it starts with the news.
Oh.
Like a news, right?
All right.
And
I like the news.
They're covering the new, newly elected Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Okay. Okay.
And how he's going to bring change and how he's going to bring hope to Malaysia.
Malaysia needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how his main focus is going to be stopping all the child labor used to make clothes for fashion factories.
Okay. Well, I can get behind that.
And right then,
mm-hmm.
like somebody hits a button and the screen goes up and you're in an evil layer. And there's five people at a table.
Yeah.
Right? And they're bad guys. You can tell they're bad guys.
Okay.
And then one says in Russian, "How could you let this happen? You know, how could you let this happen?" And you hear someone yell back, "I negotiated my butt off, Giorgio." And it's Will Ferrell.
Okay.
He was like, "I bribed him as much as I could. I even offered him oxen. You know how those Malaysians love oxen." But he didn't budge.
Oh, shit.
He's just Will Ferrell.
That's not the character I expected Will Ferrell to be.
I know.
I expected him to be way more evil than that, but that's funny.
He looks
ridiculous. I know.
Dude, he looks so fucking funny. He looks so fucking... I'll get there, though.
All right.
Okay, because you kind of don't see him. You see him a little bit. It's like supposed to be like really dark, right?
Okay.
And he said, and then like they say that like they can't let this happen because like if they stop the child labor in Malaysia, of course it'll ruin their business. It'll ruin all their factory. That's the problem. It'll ruin all the factories. They won't be able to make clothes.
Okay. Well,
that's the
problem.
That's the premise of this movie.
Yeah. They need to
what's
make
crazy?
clothes.
I don't remember until this morning. I didn't remember this. Like, I just remember all the funny classic scenes. I didn't remember like what it was about.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's
really
funny. Ridiculous.
They're fighting for child slavery.
I know.
That's hilarious.
That's
dog. Hilarious.
Oh my god, that's so good. So of course they're like the Malaysian must be eliminated. You know, like they're telling him that, and they're like, "You must take care of this, Magatu." And then he's like, "I can't. I'm too busy. It's Fashion Week. 1 week away." It's such a crazy feeling.
Oh man, I love sassy Will Ferrell.
It's so funny, bro.
Oh, new character.
And they go, "Well, unless you want to go back to churning out the tires, you will handle it." And then he's like, "Fine, but I don't have time." He's like, I can't, that's not enough time to train an operative. It's a couple months." And then they go, "What about Fabio?" And then they're like, "No, he's not dumb enough. We need someone even dumb." And they're like, "We need someone so stupid, so dumb, so their mind can be molded like jello, like dog,
Yeah.
And then, he's like, "Well, where am I going to find someone that beef-headed?"
And it's a shot to Will.
You already know, baby.
Yeah.
You know how movies go.
Hey.
So it's his Ben Stiller's actual. You've seen Dodgeball, right?
Yes, and you haven't seen Will Ferrell yet.
You kind of see him.
Okay,
It's
but
dark.
you don't see the ridiculousness of him.
See a little bit of it,
Okay.
but like not all the way yet.
Okay.
Okay. Because it's just dark. It's like an evil layer, so it's really black. You know what I mean? So you see more like an outline of how ridiculous he looks.
Yeah.
If that
okay.
makes sense.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So it's he's getting interviewed, right? It's cuts to Derek, and he's like getting all done up, like makeup and his hair and all that shit. And it's somebody interviewing him from Time Magazine, and it's his actual wife in real life. The woman. You ever seen Dodgeball?
Yes.
The woman at Dodgeball who throws it like this really fast.
Oh, okay.
Her.
That's his wife?
That's his real wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. What's up? I don't know.
You should watch Curb. They play actually husband and wife on Curb. Good episodes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So, like, he says, she's like, I have a few more questions, Derek. Do you mind if I ask? And he's like, oh, go ahead. You don't see him yet. You don't see Ben Stiller yet. And she goes, well, how did you get into modeling? And he goes, well, I have to say, it was the first time I went through second grade. I walked outside and I caught my reflection in a mirror. And I was like, wow, you're really, really, really good looking. And I wonder if I can do that, like, as a career. And then she was like, do what? And he was like, be really, really good looking. And then she goes, well, what are you most known for? And he was like, well, I'd have to say probably Blue Steel. That was the first look that blew me up. And she was like, wow, can I see it? And he goes,
oh, he does the look.
Right, he does the Blue Steel, right? He does the look. And then she goes, like, wow, that's like, she actually looks impressed. She's like, wow, that's impressive. Thank you. And then she goes, then there's like, he goes, well, then there's Ferrari. He goes, well, then I have my other looks too. There's Ferrari, there's La Tigra. He's like, but I usually use those for like these kind of situations or this situation. She goes, wow, that's cool. Do you mind if I see one of those? And he goes, absolutely. And he goes, and she's like, okay. So the credits start rolling.
Okay,
This is the beginning of the movie.
we're definitely gonna see La Tigra later.
Oh, you just saw it.
Oh, that was La Tigra?
They're all the same.
Oh, they're all the same. Okay, I should have picked that up. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that. Just completely watched that joke fly over my head.
Oh my God, you're so stupid.
Oh God, I know.
So the credits are rolling. Like now the credits start rolling. Like the movie starts, right?
Yeah.
And fucking Donald Trump is in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
For a second, cameo, but he's in it.
Hey.
And he goes,
that's our president.
So our president, dog, is in Zoolander, and he's like saying how, without Derek Zoolander, male modeling wouldn't even exist. Like he's saying shit like that. Like then it's like a montage of like people talking about how cool Derek Zoolander is.
Yeah.
Like while the credits roll, right? And he's like, and then Derek's telling the interview girl like how he's been working on this new look called Magnum. He's like, I've been working on it for like 8 to 9 years, so it's gonna be really amazing when I reveal it. And she goes, wow, can I see it? He goes, see it? He's like, I shouldn't even be talking about it. And so the credits keep rolling, right? Like it's like the theme music's still playing, credits rolling, and it's like it's like Cuba Gooding Jr. and he's talking about how amazing Derek Zoolander is and how hot he is.
Oh,
it's like all these random celebrities.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, they got the actual people to like.
They got Donald Trump
and Cuba Gooding Jr., which was more impressive at the time.
They're both very impressive. They're both very impressive. Man, that makes it so like man. If only if Hillary had been in like Night at the Museum, maybe. She wasn't thinking in the long game.
She was not thinking in the long game.
No.
You gotta get in some movies, y'all.
Yeah. If you want to run for president, fucking make cameos. Home Alone 7. It's up there somewhere.
So, wow, it is. Yeah. So she asks him, she says, I have another question. She goes, the Aboriginals say that when one, gets a picture taken of them, they also lose a part of their soul. She says, what do you have to say about that? And he goes, well, I have to answer a question with a question. How many Aboriginals do you know in modeling? Dude, I love this movie so much.
Oh, God, he's an idiot.
He's so funny, dude.
Oh, God.
So it cuts to TV, right? And it goes, so it's industry's biggest night, the VH1 Fashion Awards show.
VH1.
So it shows like him getting out of a limo, right? And
I haven't turned on VH1 in so long.
Well, yeah, when they started, it only became Flavor of Love for a while.
Yeah, that's fair. It was the Flavor of Love channel.
They stopped doing VH1 Fashion Week.
Yeah, apparently. I was missing out.
So, he comes out of limo and then Zoolander pops across the screen, right? Mm-hmm. And then everybody's screaming, like freaking out over him and like, oh my God. And then everybody's saying like, he's almost too good looking. Like they're freaking out. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's Ben Stiller.
Yeah. So and then Owen Wilson shows up on a razor.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So he's like the cool guy. He shows up on a razor.
And is it like skirt? Does it
yeah. And then Hansel flashes across the screen. And and a guy goes, oh, it's Hansel. It's Derek's competition. The rookie sensation. The rookie sensation.
The rookie sensation.
So he's the young guy.
Okay.
So you had that a little wrong. You were right about being there was a young model in this, a young up and comer, but Derek's the older guy.
Oh, Derek is the established one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next person that pulls up in a limo opens the door. It's Will Ferrell.
Okay.
Magatu.
Okay.
That pops across the screen, right? And he just looks ridiculous, bro. He's holding a poodle. He's holding a French poodle. His hair is like the poodle's. It looks like poodle's ears, but it's like his hair. And it's all curly and blonde. And he's got all his makeup on, and he's just dressed ridiculous as fuck.
Did you watch this in theaters?
I didn't see this in theaters. This is one of the movies I saw a million times on television.
Okay, man.
My boy Tommy saw this in theaters. He said he took everyone like on his 12th birthday to see this in theaters.
That's a good 12th birthday.
Or whatever. Yeah, but yeah.
Because I'm interested in knowing, and if I guess anyone who's seen it could just hit us up on Instagram or some shit. And what was it like when he popped out on theaters? To see that something that ridiculous.
Well, this came out in 2001.
Yeah,
I'm sure it hit. Oh, I mean, this was a huge movie. Obviously, they made
right. How when they saw Will Ferrell, did the theater hit?
I had to, right?
Right?
Because he was so big on SNL at the time.
When they actually saw him dressed ridiculous
and acting ridiculous.
I wish I had seen that in theaters. What people's reaction to that was.
Dude, the cast in this is incredible.
Yeah,
and the cameos in this. Oh, we're not done, baby.
Oh, really?
Oh, we're not done.
Oh, really?
Dude, there's one cameo that you're gonna love so much. Oh God. So,
Ferrell pops out.
Yeah, and Derek is it's back to like TV, and they go, Derek is now going for his 4th Male Model of the Year award, here at VH1, and then it shows Maury Blaustein, his assistant. Maury Blaustein pops on the screen, and it's Ben Stiller's actual dad,
Jerry.
Jerry Stiller.
Yeah,
he's in there.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah. And then he's just like he's like his manager, and he's like he says how no one can mess with. He's like telling the interview, no one can mess with Derek, baby. He's hot. He's red hot. He's just like how he just yells.
Yeah, it's Jerry Stiller.
Yes, he's just yelling about how hot he is. It's his actual son. That's so funny.
That's really funny.
And then while he's doing that, like they're talking to the interviewers, Derek and Hansel lock eyes, and it's like slow motion, and they're looking at each other like intensely. And then as that happens, the reporter goes, are you worried about Hansel? And then he goes, not as much as I'm worried about Gretel. And no one laughs, right? No one laughs. And then he's like smiling. And then he goes, hey, put that Gretel line in. I want people to know how funny I can be. She's like, just looking at him.
What the fuck? That's funny.
Right then, Magatu walks up, right? And the Ben Stiller's wife, actual, her Matilda character, she was interviewing him. Yeah. She starts interviewing, he's throwing like hard questions at him, like real interview questions, and like, do you have anything to say about the Malaysian Prime Minister? And what about, if how you want him out of power so you can keep your child labor factories? Like, answer these questions. And he like, obviously storms past her.
Yeah.
And then right then, like there's people protesting outside also, and one of them runs up and they egg Magatu's poodle. They egg just the poodle, and he's screaming. He's, of course,
like he got shot.
Just freaking out. And there's this gay black guy next to him who's also screaming, and he plays a gay black guy in everything, and it's so funny. He's the gay black guy in Hitch. He's the gay black guy in every situation.
Oh my God, there's a magical gay black guy?
Yeah, well, I guess magical. I guess they're all magical.
They're all magical, man.
Yeah. So they're all just like freaking out. Like I said, like he got shot. It's so funny. It's just an egg poodle also.
A magical gay black guy.
Yeah.
An MGBG. Is it BG? Yes.
So Fabio is on stage.
Like real Fabio.
Real Fabio.
Okay.
Receiving an award for being the best actor / model. Then Lenny Kravitz comes up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude, nonstop. The movie doesn't stop with the cameo.
I wish I wore my Elton John shirt. I wish I had.
Oh, you know where the Lenny Kravitz shirt? That'd be so funny.
If I have a Lenny Kravitz shirt that I'm gonna wear now.
Shout out Lenny.
Yeah.
Keep doing it, brother.
Hey, bro.
So Lenny Kravitz, he's like, I'm here to present, the male model of the year, right? Mm-hmm. And they start with like showing Hansel's credits, okay? And then Will Ferrell goes, like as they're showing Hansel, he leans up to Maury because he's sitting in front of him.
Right.
And so his dad, he goes, that Hansel, he's so hot right now. God, he's so hot right now. Okay. And then it's like, it shows Hansel like being just like this crazy outdoors guy. He's like snowboarding and skiing and bungee jumping and doing all these cool like outdoorsy
he's
shit.
He's the extreme guy.
And then he's also like a hippy dippy. And it shows him like being like peaceful and out like with the trees and like running like in the forest. Like he's just like a weird guy. He's like, and then he goes, it goes to him like an interview and he's like, I didn't And almost he's like, I didn't really have dreams of like being an astronaut, when I was a kid, like he was like, I was more the kid who was like, hey, what's the bark of a tree out of a tree made of? Like I was that kid.
An autistic kid? What does that mean?
And he goes like, who are my heroes? Oh, like Richard Gere. He goes, Sting. Yeah, Sting, definitely. He's like the music that guy's creating.
Reggie Bush. That's like the third natural person.
He goes, Sting. Oh shit, he goes, Sting. The music that guy's created over the years. I mean, I haven't listened to it personally, but I mean, the fact that he's created it, I respect that.
That's funny.
That's
a really funny line.
And then they start showing Derek Zoolander, and his credits start rolling, right? And they're like, over the past 10 years, 5 syllables have controlled the world of modeling. Derek Zoolander. Like they all pop up like it. And he goes, all of my life, I just cared about being really, 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 really good looking.
That's so funny.
And
so funny.
They talk about like his versatility and like when he did this calendar, oh my God, everybody was so amazing. And they show all the months and it's just the same face.
Same picture, yeah. God, this is stupid.
It's so stupid, dog.
This is dumb.
And then Lenny Kravitz goes, and the award goes to Hansel, right? And then they do the split screen, like on the thing they always do a split screen. And so it shows Hansel, of course, he's celebrating, he's hugging his team, and then Derek is also hugging his team and celebrating. And Hansel looks up and he kind of sees that and he stops. And then it shows Derek and he starts like high-fiving everybody as he was walking to the thing. Yeah. And then of course the room gets really quiet and he goes and he grabs the mic and he's like, thank you, Lenny. I just want to say, people said winning this 4 years in a row couldn't be done. And I just want to say I showed them. And as he starts yelling, Lenny Kravitz grabs him and he's like, whispers in his ear. And then it stops and he turns around and he sees like Hansel, of course, like in huge letters.
Yeah. And he just has a breakdown.
Oh, yeah. Well, then right then Mugatu leans up to the Ben Stiller's dad character, Mari, and he goes, he's perfect. And then he goes, oh, no, not Derek. Please, not Derek. And he goes, oh, he's like, no, he's so stupid. He's perfect. We got to use him. And he's like, oh, it hurts me. He's like, it hurts me. It hurts like a fissure in my ass to say this, but you're right. We got to use him. He's so stupid. Oh, Derek, why? Like,
yeah.
He's like, why? He's always yelling. It's so funny.
I think it's also funny to see an old man say fissure in his ass.
Fissure in his ass. Yeah. I thought that was a really funny line.
It's a good
fissure in his ass.
Good word, fissure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a funny word.
So Derek storms out and he sees his reflection like in a puddle. And he looks in and he's like, who am I? And then the puddle looks back and he's like, I don't know. And then Hansel Razor's like nearby and like makes fun of him.
Razors.
He's on his razor, like 2 girls too. It's so funny. He's like 2 girls and he's razoring by. And he's making fun of him. And then like sad music starts playing as he walks through town, and like they're covering up his billboards with like Hansel billboards
already.
Yeah. Already. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like it's like everybody's laughing at him, like accepting the award that he didn't win, like already, like like replaying it.
Yeah.
And he's just walking through, and he's like all sad, and then he gets back to his house, and it's empty, and there's a big banner up, and it says 4 years in a row, but 4 has been crossed out, and it says 3 now, but the house is empty.
Oh, that's funny.
So the next day, he's waking up, right?
Yeah.
And it's him and all of his model friends, like his roommates, I guess. They're all living together. And they are arguing back and forth over how much they hate Hansel.
Okay.
And stupid shit. Like they're arguing about this.
How many of them are there?
There's 3.
There's 3.
It's like an Asian dude, a white dude, and a black dude.
Okay.
They're all like really good looking dudes, right?
Okay.
They're models. And they're all like, one's working out and one's like making a coffee. But they're all arguing over Hansel and how much they hate him and how Derek's the best. And and then they start like bickering over good looking, like just bullshit.
Yeah.
Good looking bullshit.
Just whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then Derek, he's like, he goes, like, enough. It's like, do you guys ever once think that there's more to life than being really, 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 really good looking? And then he makes the face, like that. And then he goes, maybe we should do something more meaningful, like helping people. And they're like, what people? People that need help. I thought that was so funny. That made me laugh out loud this morning.
Yeah.
People who need help. I don't know why that killed me. But I thought that was like, oh my God, Bistler, that's so stupid.
Did he sell it that hard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, he sells everything hard in this, huh?
It's like, who do you think? So he's like, you know what? They go, you know what'll help you sort through all these issues? And he goes, what? And then they all look at each other and they go, orange mocha frappuccinos. And then he goes, oh, and then the song, a jitterbug, a do, a do. I said a jitterbug, and he's like, no, and then they all start smiling, and then the next scene, they're all in a Jeep, dressed ridiculously.
What's happening?
Dressed ridiculously.
What's happening?
And they all have orange mocha frappuccinos.
What is happening?
I said a boom, boom, into the heart, man, yeah, like that's playing, and they're all like dancing outside the Jeep and like just going crazy,
Is
right?
this movie on cocaine?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, they pull into a gas station. Song's still playing.
Uh-huh.
So they pull into a gas station, and like they get out and they start having like a water fight with the things that clean the windows.
Yeah.
And wake me up before you go. And they're like, it's like
song?
in slow motion. It's that song.
Yeah.
And it's like slow motion, and they're playing it, and they're like slinging it at each other, and then it cuts to them like in fast motion.
And they're just going in slow motion.
No, that'd be funny. No, they just look ridiculous. It's so funny. Like, like they show somebody so much how cool they look.
Yeah.
And they're just like slinging the water. They're just like slinging it like crazy. And people are just like looking at them.
Live your life like it's in slow motion.
Bro, you got to.
Yeah.
So
take that with you guys. Live your life like it's in slow motion.
So Derek notices a time mag, like while that's happening. The song's still playing. Wake me up, that shit. And so he's looking and he sees Time magazine in the trash with his picture on it. And he picks it up and he goes, Derek Zoolander, male model, idiot? Because he reads it like a question mark.
Yeah.
like
an idiot.
Yeah. And then he turns back and he looks at all his friends who are now splashing each other with gasoline in slow motion. And they're like just splashing with gasoline, like shooting each other. And then he smiles at them like that, and wake me up before you go, go, go. Take me dancing tonight. And then right as that happens, he fucking lights, one of his friends like pulls out a cigarette and like is about to light it. And then Derek goes, no! And he lights it and then he blows them all up and kills them. And they all die. All of his friends die.
What?
All of his friends die, bro. That happens in like the first 20 minutes of this movie.
Oh, they got J-Lo'd.
They got J-Lo'd.
Oh man, what the fuck happened? Like in this weird, crazy world, I followed it, and then it like amped up. That was really funny.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah,
I love this movie. So he's at the funeral.
All his friends are dead.
Now he's at the funeral speaking.
Okay.
Next scene.
Yeah.
Everybody's there. All the other
Oh,
models.
he's giving a eulogy.
He's giving the eulogy.
Oh, that's amazing. What is he saying?
He goes, Rufus, Brent, and Meekus, they were like brothers to me. And not like actual brothers, but like brothers how the way black people use it, which is more meaningful. And he goes, also just because male models have chiseled abs and great jawlines and beautiful features, it doesn't mean we also can't die in freak gasoline accident fights. And I'd like to take this opportunity right now to announce my retirement. And right as he says retirement, like you hear rock music start playing, like, boom, 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 and Hansel walks in slow motion, right? Into the funeral. And like this loud rock music. And everybody's like, oh, it's Hansel, it's Hansel, oh, it's Hansel. And then Magatu goes, oh my God, he's so hot right now. That Hansel, he's so hot right now. Right? And then he walks in and then he's like, everyone. And then finally everybody calms down. He's like, I'm trying to announce my retirement. And everybody's, oh, like, right?
No, he stole his thunder?
Stole his thunder. Well, so his wife is outside now, right? Like the Times magazine lady, I keep saying, but the Matilda lady, she's outside.
Her name is Matilda.
Yeah, Matilda. And so Magatu comes out, and then he's like, Magatu, he's trying to question him. He storms by her, and then she sees Derek. She's like, Derek, and she goes to talk to him, and then she goes, Derek, how you doing? Are you okay? I'm sorry to hear about what happened. And he goes, oh, I thought you were here to tell me of how bad a Googleizer I was. And then she goes, a Googleizer? And she goes, one who speaks at funerals? Or did you think I was too stupid to know what a googly was? And then she says, like, I'm sorry, the Time magazine people made me write that.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm just here because I want answers on Magatu. Can you help me? And she's like, he's like, if you knew anything, you know that Magatu has refused to work with me my whole career. I have to leave. And then he slams the door and he leaves, right?
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Interesting little plot twist.
Yeah. Right? This movie, even though how stupid it is, it's enough little plot things to keep it going.
Yeah, to be like, okay, what's happening? There's still child slaves here in play.
God, that's what it's all about.
Which is so funny. That there's an undercurrent of children's slavery.
That's the whole theme of the movie.
Yeah, bro. I think that's the funniest theme for a movie.
I can't believe I didn't notice that till really today. Like, I never really got that until this morning.
Yeah.
You know?
If What Women Want had child slaves in it, I'd be like, okay, they're saying some shit.
Yeah, they've been saying some shit.
Yeah.
But they chose not to.
Nope.
So
Use more child slaves, people.
He's talking to his manager dad.
As a comedic
As a comedic, yeah.
Yeah, as a comedic thing.
He's talking to his manager / real life dad, which is so funny.
Yeah.
Morty about how he wants to. He's like, I want to help people. I want to help children. He's like, we can have an institute. And he's like, what do you mean an institute? And he's like, you know, like the Derek Zoolander Institute for children who can't read good and want to learn how to do other stuff good too. And he was like, Derek, let me tell you something. That stuff, it's not for you, all right? That's not what you want. He's like, when I found you, you were a pretty kid who couldn't turn left to save his life. And he's like, I can turn left.
Who couldn't turn left to save his life?
He said he couldn't turn left to save his life. And he goes, I can turn left. And then he stops and he goes, because he has to go left, and he spins to the right. And then Maury's like, Bagatu wants you for his new campaign. You got to do it, Derek. And he's like, are you even listening to me? He's like, I'm retired, Morty. He's like, I'm going home to find my roots. And he's like, oh, you Derek, you know?
Yeah.
So he heads to a small coal town where he's from.
He's from a rural
small coal town.
town.
This is my favorite part of the movie, dog. Yeah. And he's walking up, right, to these coal mining, like, people. They're walking in. He's walking up to him, and he's got his luggage, and he's got on a fucking all leather, leopard, gray-black, tight suit.
Right.
And it's like a leather, leopard matching luggage, scarves, like all this shit, you know? And he walks up and he goes, hey, Pop. And a guy turns around, and it's John Voight.
Okay. It's John Voight.
And he goes, Scrappy, Luke. And his two brothers turn around, and one of them's Vince Vaughn.
Okay. What?
And he goes, hey, the Zoolander men, all back together again. And then he's like, get out of here. They're like, get out of here, Derek. We don't want you here. Get out of here. And then he's like, please let me stay, Pop. I promise I won't let you down, please. And then right then, Magatu calls Maury, and he's like, you know, where is he? Where's Derek? Is he working on my campaign? And then he's like, no, he went home to find his roots. And he's like, well, you better get him back. He's like, do whatever it takes. And then right then it cuts back to Derek, and it's like a montage scene. And that song starts playing, you know, starts playing, everyone's watching to see what you will do.
I've never heard this song.
Everyone's looking at you. All right. It's like one of those kind of songs, right? And so it shows like the rest of his family, like they're in regular coal miner outfits. They walk into into the mine. Yeah. And then he walks in this like blue jumpsuit, like this bright blue jumpsuit, matching blue shoes. He's got the jumpsuit hat, the top half like undone, and he's got like a white tank top to show how ripped he is. And then he's got just like coal marked on his face, but like a football player.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, he's got like a hammer. He's like that. And then it's just a montage of him fucking up, obviously, just fucking up in the mind,
just posing
and messing up things, and like losing, like throwing the hammer back accidentally, or like it shows like his brothers like lifting these huge rocks into things, and then it shows him lifting this little one. He's like, you know, and then it's like it shows his dad, the John Voight character, about to like hit something, and then he pops out like he had made he's like surprise, and then he almost gives him a heart attack. You know, like just one of those montages, right? It's like one of those. You've seen
a good montage.
It's a great montage.
Yeah. I've seen this montage.
You've seen this montage.
Yeah.
Before. And so the next scene, they're all at the bar and they're watching football, and he walks up and it shows like it's like the last scene. It shows him in the bathroom and he's with a cotton ball and he's wiping like the last piece of like black coal off his face. Yeah. And he throws it in the trash can and there's like 5 billion cotton balls, all black. It's like it's so ridiculous.
It's like too much.
It's like just so much.
It's always works.
Yeah.
Good trope.
He comes up and he's like, who's winning the match? And then his dad looks at him like so disappointed. And he's like, oh, State. And then he goes, I think I'm getting the black lung, Pop. And he goes, God damn it, Derek, you were down there one day. I've been down there 30 years.
Right.
And then he goes, right when he yells at him, a commercial starts playing on the TV. Mm-hmm. And it shows Derek, and he's like a mermaid. He's like a beautiful mermaid, and he's all glitter. He's like, his whole top half's all glitter, the bottom half is a mermaid. And he swims up to like the camera, right? And he's like, And he goes, moisture is the essence of wetness. And wetness is the essence of beauty. And then he swims off. And then it's like an ad for water, like Avon. Water.
And then he's watching this in this rural town.
Yeah, and everyone in the bar's like laughing at him. And
Yeah.
he's like turning around, of course.
Right.
And then his dad's like, why'd you have to come back to this town? And he's like, I wanted to make a new life. I'm sorry that I'm so beautiful, Pop. I'm sorry that I'd rather put hair in my gel than a stupid, silly hat with a flashlight on it. And he's like, all I ever wanted to do was make you proud, Papa. And he goes, what, with your male modeling? Huh? Dressing up like a mermaid and showing your wiener to everybody for the whole world to see? And he's like, you're dead to me. More dead to me than your mother is. And then Vince Vaughn looks at him. He's like, oh no, Pop, don't say that.
Oh,
you know? And then he looks at him and he goes, Merman. Merman. And he storms out, right?
God damn, this is funny.
No, it's one of the funniest movies ever, bro. I love this movie.
Good Lord.
And he storms out and he looks up at the sky and he goes, who am I? And then right then his phone starts ringing. And he answers it. And I swear to God, his phone is this big. This part of my finger. This part of my finger is how big the phone is.
That's a funny joke.
He opens it.
Yeah.
And he goes, hello? And then he goes, Derek? Somebody goes, Derek, are you there?
That joke could still work today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
That joke could, no question that joke couldn't still work today.
Yeah.
You know?
So he answered the phone.
And he goes, it's Maury. And he goes, Derek, you hearing me? Hello? And he goes, God? And he goes, God? No, it's Maury. You got to get back. Magato's making an offer you can't believe. You know?
Right.
So the next scene, it's Derek and he's talking to Magato. Talking to Will Ferrell.
Right.
God, Will Ferrell just looks so funny, bro. He's just got on all this, and the way I can't even, bro, how stupid this nigga looks in every scene.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And he takes himself so seriously, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. That's very funny.
And he's like, and Derek's like, I thought it was so weird how you never wanted to work with me, and then now, you want to work with me. I thought that was crazy. And then he's like, yeah, I know, right? It's so crazy that I never wanted to work with you, and now I do. It's nuts. Here, let me show you something. And
Yeah.
and he runs across the room and he unveils like this little dollhouse kind of building.
Unveils. But
Yeah,
whatever.
Unveils.
Unveils is a very different thing.
Unveils.
Yeah, okay. He throws a bunch of baby cows off of it.
He's like, I want to present to you the Derek Zoolander Institute for Kids Who Can't Read Good and want to learn how to do other stuff good too. And then Derek walks up and he's like, what is this? A center for ants?
I've seen that. I know that. I was like, oh, here it is. Here's the part I know.
Well, if you haven't seen that one, everybody kind of knows that one.
Here's the part I know.
How can we be expected to teach children to read if they can't fit in the building? It needs to be at least 3 times bigger than this. And then Magato's like, you're right, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
He just lets him have it. Just like,
Yeah, that's smart.
And he's like, let me show you something. I present to you Derelict. And he unveils another big thing, and it's just homeless people. It's just homeless people. It's literally just homeless people. and homeless people clothing like all like shown off. Like actual homeless people, and then like homeless people clothing on models.
And it's called Derelict.
Derelict.
Oh, that's incredible.
And he's like, Derek, I'd like you to meet my assistant, Katinka Unbakadanana. He just keeps like saying a bunch of things. And it's like this crazy Russian lady comes up.
Right.
And they say how, that he must get prepared for Derelict. The show's in 8 days, and they got to take him to Pier 12 to get ready. And he's like, what's at Pier 12? And he's like, oh, it's just a day spa. Don't worry about it. He's like, okay. And so they take him to Pier 12, right? So back at Time Magazine, Matilda is like having her computer guy run files on Magatu.
Okay.
And he's telling her how before 98, there are no known records of him, and they can't find anything. And it's like he appeared out of thin air. And then right then she gets a call from this guy, and he goes, keep pulling the string. Eventually the sweater will unravel. And she's like, who is this? And he's like, if you want more answers, go to Pier 12. And he hangs up, right?
Oh, damn.
So back at Pier 12, they're taking Derek into this room, and he's getting a massage, and Matilda from time she busts in, and like they're like this crazy other Russian looking lady, like really crazy looking lady, is giving Derek a massage. She's just like spanking him.
Yeah.
She's literally just spanking his ass. That's all she's doing is spanking his ass. And then she runs in. Matilda's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Derek, what are you doing here? What's happening? What is this?" And then he turns around. He's like, "Matilda, what are you doing here?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as he turns around, he just has a raging boner. And the massage lady's like trying to get it, but his boner's like dodging her. It's like doing all this crazy shit. And so she's talking to him, and he's talking to her about how, like, he's talking calmly about how Magatu wants him to be the new face of his campaign and all this stuff.
Right.
And then she says something's not right about this. There's something weird about Magatu. And then right then that Inca lady, the Inca Russian lady comes in, and she's like, "What are you doing here? You must get out of here." And then they grab her and they throw her outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they come back and they take Derek to like a room and they hook him up to like all these chairs and all these tubes and shit. And he's like looking really confused, like, "Is this a part of the day spa treatment?" And she's like, "Yeah, this is all part of the treatment." He's like, "Okay." And he's got like all this shit on him. He's like, "Can I still get a seaweed wrap?" And so like right then
So it's just a chair alone in a room?
yeah.
Okay.
And like a monitor in front of him, right? And they got him all hooked up.
Okay.
And then they tell him like a DJ shows up behind him, right? This DJ, and he starts playing that song, "Relax, don't do it. If you wanna, don't do it. Relax, don't do it."
It's the same type of song.
Yeah, it's just like this '80s kind of that thing, And they have him watch like this brainwash video. They start playing this song to like brainwash him, and then in the video it's Magatu, and he's dressed up like a little kid, and he's going, "Child labor laws are outdated. Most children should be allowed to work at the age of 3 years old, Derek." He's like, this is in the video, right?
Yeah.
Like to brainwash him. And he's like, "Derek, that's why we need you to kill the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Kill the Prime Minister." And like all that shit.
That's the plan?
And then he goes, Will Ferrell, he keeps going, "Martial arts, good. Prime Minister, bad." And it shows Will Ferrell doing karate.
Wait, so the plan is to kill the Prime Minister of Malaysia with martial arts?
Yeah.
Okay.
With a model doing martial arts.
Okay. Okay.
Tell me that kind of doesn't make sense.
That makes 100% sense.
So, oh my God. So, he's like, "Don't get distracted." Like in the brainwash video, he's like, "Don't get distracted by all the beautiful celebrities in the crowd." And then like Fred Durst pops up, and then Gary Shandling pops up.
Beautiful.
The beautiful Gary Shandling.
Yeah.
And then like the video ends with like him ripping off the Prime Minister's head, right? And that's how the brainwash video ends.
Okay.
And then right then you hear banging on like a door, and Derek wakes up and he's back in his house.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Oh
And
shit.
he's like, "That was one crazy dream." Like he's like, "What was that?" Right?
Mhm.
And then he goes and he answers the door, and she's like, "It's Matilda." She's like, "Hey, I've been trying to reach you for a week. Where have you been? What's been going on?" And he's like, "Week? It's only been one day, Matilda. I just saw you yesterday." And then she's like, "No, Derek, it's been a week. What are you talking about?" And he's like, "No, it's a day spa, Matilda. That's why it's called a day spa, not a week spa." And then she says how he's been missing for a week, and he's like, "Oh, that's interesting." He's like, "But I know why you're really here." And he's like, "I'm not interested." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, you want to have sex with me?"
That's funny.
She's like, "Derek, I don't want to have sex with you." Like, and he's like, "All right, we can go have sex, but just let's make it fast." And he's like, "Derek, that's not why I'm here. You've been missing for a week." And he's like, "Really?" And then he plays his voicemails, and it's like, "You have 12,000 messages."
Jesus.
And he's like, "Well, that's a little above average." And he's like, "Well, look, even if it is the day before, even if it has been a week, then that means it's the day before a show, and I have a pre-show party to attend. So if you'd mind." And then she's like, "Oh." And then right as she's about to leave, they have like this little bit of a sweet moment because he's like, your hair, if it wasn't pulled back in a ponytail, your forehead skin wouldn't be so dry. He's like, "Do you mind if I fix it?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then he goes, and it shows him like doing all this shit with his hands.
Yeah, and then makes her way hotter.
And then it turns back and all of her hair is just down.
That's funny.
Like he does all this extra shit.
Yeah.
But she looks cute,
Yeah.
And he's like, "Whew, that's better." And he's like, "All right, if you mind." And then she leaves and she's kind of smiling like, "Oh, that was nice."
Yeah. That's very funny.
And then the Ivana lady's outside and she's watching her and she's like, "Must deal with Snoopy reporter." The Russian lady. So it cuts back to Derek, right? And he's coming into this party. the pre-show party, right? And he's walking in, and everybody's giving him love, like, "Oh, Derek's in the house. Oh, what up, Derek? Derek's here." And he's walking in, he's like smiling at everybody, and then Billy Zane.
No. No. Billy Zane's in this?
Billy Zane.
Billy!
Says, "Hey, Derek, back on top." And he's like, "Thanks, Billy. You rock."
Oh, Billy, you do rock.
He does.
Oh, Billy.
Way to pop back in our lives, bro.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you for your service.
So right then, Derek and Hansel bump into each other, like crossing.
Mhm.
And then Hansel goes, "Excuse me, bro." And then Derek goes, "You're excused, but I ain't your bro." And then Hansel goes, you know what, brother? Peace with you, with God. Bless you. I'm leaving." And then he turns around, and then Derek goes, "Hey, Hansel, sorry to hear that you didn't get the new Magatu campaign, Derelict." And then he goes, "Derelict? Never even heard about it. I was too busy tripping mushrooms in the mountains with my boys." He said something like wild, tripping mushrooms, some wild place with his boys,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, "So you can derelict my balls?" And then Derek goes, "I can derelict my own balls, thank you very much." And he's like, "You think you're too cool for school, Hansel?" He's like, "Well, I got news for you, Walter Cronkite. You aren't." So they stare each other down.
Such a good joke.
Oh, dude, it's so funny.
Pull out the words Walter Cronkite.
I know. It got me this morning.
Yeah.
That line got me out loud this morning. So he's like, they're staring at each other. They're staring each other down. And then he goes, "Hey, who you trying?" This Hansel. He's like, "Who you trying to get crazy with, Ese? Don't you know I'm loco?" Right? And they're looking at each other. And he's like, well, I got a wacky idea. Let's say we settle this on the runway, Han Solo. And then he goes, "You challenging me to a walk-off?" And then right then, Billy Zane steps in and he goes, "Don't do this, Derek." And he goes, "Shh." And then Hansel goes, "Listen to your friend Billy Zane. He's trying to help you, Derek." And he goes, "Let's do this, Hansel." He goes, "Fine, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Old members only warehouse. You know where that is. You're a dinosaur." And he pulls out a razor.
Yeah.
And razors off.
That's funny.
It's like in his back like a sword.
I can't believe Billy Zane's in this. And he's
Right?
Billy Zane.
And he's Billy Zane.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then Billy Zane goes, so he raises off Billy Zane goes, "Derek, I don't know about this, man. I've heard stories about this guy. He's too young. He's too limber." And then right then he goes, "Shut it, Billy Zane. Put a cork in it for once." And he storms off. And he storms off. And then right then Billy Zane goes, "It's a walk-off. It's a walk-off, everybody." Everybody screams, right?
Yeah, it was nuts.
Billy Zane, bro. Kills it in this little part of this movie.
I love it.
Fucking kills it.
I love it. Billy.
So as he's running off, Derek's going, Matilda screams, she's like, "Derek, where are you going?" And he tells her, he's like, "Follow me, Matilda, if you want to see real male modeling without all the cookie cutter bullshit." And then she's like, "It's urgent. You need to listen to me. Magatu's not what you think." And he's like, "I don't have time for this right now." He doesn't listen to her, right?
Right.
And he goes into the warehouse, and then they're stretching and they're getting ready, like there's a runway, and it's all packed out. And then Hansel goes, "Who's gonna call it?" And then right then David Bowie steps up, and he's like, "I will."
Okay. What?
And then David Bowie lays the ground rules.
All right, that's okay.
They start playing Michael Jackson's "Beat It,"
All right.
right?
Okay.
Beat it. Just beat it. Beat it. And bro, they start doing a walk-off.
Fuck yeah.
So, a walk-off.
Okay.
Let me break down a walk-off.
All right, break it down. Oh, this is a sport. I might cry.
This is the segment.
Yeah.
Break down walk-off.
All right.
One person does something. The other person has to imitate it exactly.
Oh, so it's like horse.
It's like horse,
Yeah.
but for male modeling.
Okay.
So they're doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
They're doing like the robot. They're doing like kicks. They're doing like little cartwheels and backflips. They're doing
Oh.
just, it's a montage.
If I had to guess, this was probably the most fun part to film.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Where they
It's-
just do the stupidest
They're
shit
doing
you
all
can.
this stupid, like bad. It's like bad bad break dance, like all this shit. And then each time they went back to their corner, they treated it like boxing.
So there's a cut man.
So Derek went back to his, and he was like spitting in a like a bucket. Hansel goes back to his at one point. And he's like,
and falls on the stool.
No, he goes, I'm blind out there. I'm blind. I can't see anything. You gotta cut me. And then a guy pulls out some scissors and like cuts one of his bangs, and he's like, Owen Wilson's funny as fuck, dog. He's so funny. So they go back and forth, right? And like they're just breakdancing and all this crazy, ridiculous shit that they're doing, like backflips off the wall. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So finally they're like, Hansel's breathing hard, and they're looking at each other, and Derek's like, I'm still here, bro. Like, what do you got? You know? And Hansel's like, I'm gonna have to go monk on him. I gotta go monk. Oh, and he starts doing like this crazy like trance thing. And then he goes, and after that he snaps cold. And then he walks out, and then he walks out to the front of the runway, and he doesn't make any motion. He takes his hand, and he reaches in his pants, and he starts doing all this crazy shit with his hand in his pants. He's doing all this shit, and everybody's looking at him, and then finally he rips out his underwear, and it's all in one piece. So he just does a magic trick. Crowd goes crazy.
Yeah.
Crowd loses their fucking mind, right?
Yeah.
So right then, Derek's corner guy, he's like, Derek, you can't do that, man. You're not a young kid anymore. You just can't do it. He's like, I got this, Tyson.
You're not a young kid anymore.
And so Derek goes out. He's thinks out loud. He's like, thank God I wore underwear today. And he gets out to the front, and he reaches his hand in his pants, and he's doing all this crazy faces, doing all this shit. And then finally he pours it out, and he just wedgies the fuck out of himself, of course, right? And he's like, oh! Oh! He's just yelling in the camera. Oh! Oh! Like that.
That's so funny.
And then David Bowie goes, disqualified! Hansel! And everybody goes crazy.
Yeah.
Ah, right?
Yeah.
So Matilda runs on stage, and she grabs him and gets him out of there. And she's like, she says, Ivana's trying to kill you. Don't you know that, Derek? I've been trying to tell you, Ivana's trying to kill you. Magafi wants you dead. And then he goes, well, I might as well deserve to be dead. I can't even beat Hansel in a walk-off. He was like, I can't do anything. I can't even turn left. He's like, ever since I was a baby, I've never been an ambi-turner. And then she goes, it's okay, Derek. Lots of people can't turn left. So right then she gets another call.
Yeah.
And it's an anonymous guy, right? And he's like, meet me at the funeral place for models. Where they bury models when they die.
Okay.
You know that place, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I bet this is going to be so funny.
So they get there, bro.
Yeah.
And they're reading the tombs of like all these dead young models, right? And they're like, wow, they're adding up the ages, and they're all young, and they're like, wow, this doesn't make sense. And right then someone walks up. He's like, hi there. And then Derek goes, are you a ghost? And then she looks at him. She goes, he called Derek.
Yeah.
He told us to come here.
Yeah.
And then he's like, walk with me.
Is it someone I recognize?
Yeah, you recognize him. I don't know who he is, but you'd recognize him.
Okay.
So he's telling him behind every major assassination was the modeling agency. And then he explains how Lincoln got killed by John Wilkes Booth, the first model actor.
Yeah.
And how it was over cotton for clothes. And that's what it was all about.
That's funny.
And then he explains, he's like, what, who else? He's like, Kennedy. And he's like, Kennedy, they were like, Kennedy was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. He's like, that's what they want you to think. The two grassy knoll guys, male models. And it cuts to them, and they're both like this with their guns, like on the grassy knoll. It says like why Kennedy wanted to help like modeling, and he like or some shit, and then, some stupid reason they had to kill Kennedy.
Oh yeah. Oh really? Not a serious reason? It was a stupid one?
Well, there's not a legit reason to why he's dead, so it might be the reason.
Oh yeah. Also, cotton was a little bit on the nose. Like that's actually kind of a real reason.
Yeah, that could have been the male model industry that killed Lincoln.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
So he says, so like while he's telling him that, he bumps into Derek, and Derek drops a flashlight,
mm-hmm.
and then the guy goes, "Oh, don't worry, I'll grab it." And he reaches down to grab it, and he's got it's like a bubble, like a glass bubble around his hand. So you just hear like tink, tink, tink. Clearly, he's in a
hand model.
He's a hand model. And then Derek, of course, goes, "Wait a minute," and he grabs him, and he goes, "Oh, you're J.P. Pruitt, the most beautiful hand model I've ever seen." And he's like, "I used to be." Once upon a time I was.
No, they're gonna give this hand model a backstory.
Of course. He's like, but those days changed. He's like, they tried to turn me into an assassin, but I got out just in time. And they're like, how did you know? He's like, I'm a hand model. We're a lot smarter than the face and body boys. He's like, male models are built to be assassins. They're told exactly what to do, and they listen. And then Derek goes, no, we don't. He goes, shut up, Derek. Yes, you do. He goes, okay. He's like, think about every gig you've ever had. And then Derek starts reminiscing on a gig. He's like, you just do whatever you're told. And it's him dressed as a monkey. And then the dude taking pictures is like, dance, little monkey boy. You're a monkey, Derek. And they're throwing like bananas at him. And he's like, good point.
What the fuck?
And he's like, but Mugatu, he's just an errand boy. You know, he's just an errand boy. You know, he's like, they're going to pull the trigger on the prime minister. This shit goes all the way to the top. You know what I mean? And then he goes, oh, and then Derek's looking at him and he goes, but why male models? And he goes, I literally just said everything. Did you are you not listening to me?
Yeah, that's funny.
And then right then somebody starts shooting at him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they get him. They shoot at the one guy in the stomach, right? And he tells Derek, he's like, you guys got to get out of here. Go, you know, and take, you know, and stop him. You got to stop him, Derek. You're the last hope. And then right as he's about to leave, Derek smashes his like hand model case. He's like, God damn it, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know? And so they storm off, right? And as they're leaving, they're like, Derek, we need to hide. This is too much going on. And they're like, where's the last place anyone will look for you? And right then they almost get into an accident. And Derek sees a Hansel billboard. He's like, oh, Hansel, Hansel, Hansel. Everywhere, look, I just see Hansel. And then, of course, she's like, I know where's the last place people will look for you. So she takes him to Hansel's place.
I thought she was going to take him to like a library.
No.
Which would have also been funny.
Very funny.
Yeah.
So they knock on the door. Mm-hmm. Hansel opens it. And Derek's like giving him the cold shoulder. And Hansel goes, looking for a rematch, you know? And she tells Hansel everything that's going on. Mugatu, the murder, like everything.
So they start working together.
So he tells him everything that's happening, right?
That's so funny.
And then he goes, okay. It's cool for you guys to hide here. But first, me and Hombre got to square some stuff out. And Derek's like, fine. And they look at each other for a little bit. And they're like, it's quiet. And Hansel goes, why you been acting so messed up towards me? And then Derek's like, why you been acting so messed up towards me? And then it's quiet for a little while again.
Yeah.
And they just look at each other. And then they talk about like dumb shit, right? And he's like, you know, you hurt me. Hansel's like, you hurt me. And when you hurt me, I was like, hey, that hurt. And he was like, but you hurt me. And it hurt. And they're talking like that.
Yeah.
And he tells him how he looks up to him and he's like, man, your 95 winner international catalog that you did. It's the reason I got into modeling. I worship you, man. And he's like, I'm sorry I was whack. That's what Derek says. Yeah. He's like, I'm sorry I was whack. And then they hug each other and then they're best friends.
That's great. That's great. I love that. I love that. So
Hansel's walking them in their place and he's introducing them to everybody in his house. There's 1 million people in his house.
There's more people.
There's 1 million people in his house and they're all ridiculous characters. Like dwarves and mountain men and fucking goats and fucking snakes everywhere and these crazy ladies. You know what I mean? Like just all kinds of shit, right? He's just introducing everybody to everybody. Mm-hmm. And then they go sit and they're drinking tea and they're all talking. And they ask her, they're like, Matilda, why do you hate male models? That's what Hansel says. He's like, I read your article about my boy and I got to know why you hate us so much. And then she goes, well, they're vain, self-centered, and they're stupid. And then Hansel goes, yeah, but why do you hate male models? And then Derek goes, ooh, snap. I knew you'd like that joke, you piece of shit.
I'm a bad person. That's really funny.
And she goes, honestly, I was just a fat kid when I was in class, like back when I was in school. And then Derek goes, ugh. And then she tells him like how hard it was to be fat and like and all that, and like it was such a struggle, and because of that she turned into a bulimic kid.
Ooh.
And then Derek goes, oh, so you can read minds. and then Hansel smiles like, and then he goes, like he's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like you can't believe it.
You're a superhero.
Yeah. And then she goes, no, it's when you throw up after meals. And then they start laughing like, Matilda.
That's normal.
Matilda, yeah. That's how you lose weight.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? You're so silly. And then as they're talking about that, they get into her sex life. And she's like, I'm not going to talk about this. And like, forget, just tell us. Like, when's the last time you had sex? And then she was like, oh, it's been a couple years. And then they lose it. They're like, what? How do you live? How do you live? You know?
Yeah.
And then she's like, Hansel's like, you know what? I can fix this. I think we should get naked. And then they all get naked. And then they start making love to Matilda. So some sex music starts playing, right?
Okay.
And at first it's them two. And then, I love to love you, baby.
Okay.
That's playing.
Yeah.
Right? And they're all kissing, and it's her, like, and it's both of them kissing on their body.
Yeah.
And then eventually this like tattooed face guy starts kissing on her body.
Yeah.
And like this old Asian man starts kissing on her body. And like all these like dwarves, like all these different people, like, you know, they're kissing on her. So really funny scene.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, Derek and Hansel, they're in the kitchen and they're talking.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek's telling Hansel, he's like, I think I'm falling for Matilda. And he was like, really? And then Hansel's like, yeah, I felt a crazy energy last night between you guys. And Derek's like, yeah. He's like, there was a moment where she was sandwiched between two dwarves and a mountain man. And I was like, I could spend the rest of my life with this person. And so Matilda right then, she comes out and she says how like the show, she's like, you know, the show is in 3 hours. We gotta, you know, oh my God, what are we gonna do? We gotta fix this. Like,
Right.
And she was like, you know, how are we gonna do this? And then she's like, we need to figure out a plan. And then Derek's like, oh, they'll be looking for us at Mari's. You know, because he's like, we need to go to Mari's place and get the file. He's like, you know, they'll be looking for us at Mari's, but they won't be looking for not us. She's like, what? He's like, Hansel, do you have like an extra makeup kit? He's like, yeah, I always carry one on me. And then he pulls out like this Batman like utensil makeup kit like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but it's just for like blemishes and touch-ups. He's like, oh, don't worry. He's like, back when I was a new model, I used to do my own makeup. He's like, I can make a disguise and we'll get into Mari's and no one will notice us. Right?
I already know where this is going.
So the next scene,
this is funny.
Right? And they're like, oh, that's a great idea. It's literally a old Mexican man. Like with a gut and Godfrey the comedian. Godfrey the 7-Up guy who doesn't have black openers.
I know.
You, Godfrey.
Also, Godfrey, if I could open for you again, I would appreciate it.
I would, but you know, you have to fix yourself and stop hating yourself so much.
But I'm here. We had a good time, remember?
Godfrey the comedian.
Yeah.
The 7-Up guy.
The 7-Up guy.
So they're walking in the party. Those two people. And they're walking in as janitors, and no one's noticing them, right?
Yeah.
And Godfrey's supposed to be there because he's making the blue steel face the whole time.
The whole time? That's funny.
And there's a scene where like Matilda's like talking to him on the phone, and she's talking to Godfrey, and it's literally Ben Stiller's voice, but it's Godfrey doing like the talking, but it's Ben Stiller's voice. It's really funny.
Yeah.
You know, and she tells them how they need to download the files from Mari's computer because they're like, we're in the room. She's like, take the computer, download the files, and just email them to me. And we'll have everything we need, you know, about Magatu.
Mm-hmm.
And then Godfrey tells her like a really sweet thing, like how he loves her, but it's Ben Stiller's voice.
Right.
You know? And then right then, Matilda's computer guy comes in and he says, I found information on Magatu. His real name is Jacob McGooberg. She was like, he was in that band that made the hit song in the 80s, you know, relax, don't do it, if you're gonna go do it. And right before that song got dropped, he got kicked out of the band. So then he invented the piano key necktie in 85. And it shows a picture of him with the piano, Will Ferrell with the piano key necktie.
Okay.
And he's been a designer ever since. Okay?
Okay.
So Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson now like have the makeup wiped off their face.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like you see like the outline of the makeup, but like the rest is wiped off. You know, it's completely two different people.
Yeah.
Like, two different body frames.
Yeah.
So they're looking at the computer and they're like, the files are inside the computer. And they start pushing on it. They start pushing buttons, right? Mm-hmm. And they start hitting it slowly, like, you know, like hitting it. And they're fucking hitting it. And then the Star Wars theme music starts playing. Dun, 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 like that shit.
Yeah.
And they both just turn into monkeys. They're like, ah, whoa, whoa, ah, and they're just hitting it, just like hitting it really hard. They're like jumping on the table, woo, woo, ah, like just hitting the fucking computer as hard as they can. I don't know why.
Yeah, just to do it. At this point, just to
do it because it's funny.
Yeah, yeah, they're just fucking around at this point.
They're just fucking around.
They're having fun. This seems like it was fun to do.
So Mugatu, he calls and he's like, he calls Mari and he's like, "Where's Derek? I'm a hot little potato right now." And so,
So Mugatu's not at this place, or is he?
No, he's at the show, but he's waiting on Derek because Derek's not there yet.
Okay.
Derek's at Mari's place trying to get the files, right?
Okay.
So they're there trying to get the files, and Derek tells because they're about to break the computer, and then Derek stops him, Hansel, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Don't break it." He's like, "But I gotta get to the show." And he's like, "Hansel, you can't go to the show." And he's like, "My whole life, I've never missed one show or ever been late. I can't start now." And he's like, "Tell Matilda, I love her. And if anything happens to me, give her this." And he gives him his tiny cell phone to give to Matilda. Right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, he storms off. And then it cuts to the news, and the news is like, the Prime Minister of Malaysia is here. He was personally invited by Mugatu himself, and he's like sitting down, the Prime Minister, like at the actual show. So Hansel is talking to Matilda now. And she's like, "Hey, where's Derek?" And he's like, "He left. He left me here with the computer." And then she's like, "What? He's not supposed to leave you. Where did he go?" And he's like, "He went to the show." And he's like, "Oh my God, but we don't know the trigger yet." She's like, "Well, did you email, can we call him?" And he's like, "No, he left me his cell phone." She's like, She's like, "Well, did you email me the files?" And he's like, "I gotta be honest, that's another thing. Where are they? We looked all over. We can't find the files." And then she was like, "They're in the computer. Just email them to me. They're inside the computer." And he looks at it. He goes, "Oh, I got it. In the computer." It's so simple. So it cuts back to Matilda, right? And her assistant guy is bringing her snacks. And he's like, "Hey, I brought you these snacks. I'm trying to get you to, help you relax." And she's like, "I don't need to relax. I need to find the trigger word. And until I find the trigger word, I can't relax." And then she goes, "Relax." And then it hits her, and she storms off, Matilda, right? She storms to the concert. Right. Now she knows.
She knows what the trigger word is.
So Derek is getting ready for the show.
Yeah.
And he looks at Mari, and he goes, "I know what you did." It's like a scene from The Godfather. Like before he's talking to Fredo.
I know. Right before he gives him the kiss of death?
Pretty much. Yeah, he does. Yeah. And then he looking at him, and then Arthur's like, he's like, no, you don't understand. And he's like, "I know what you did." And then he kind of walks off, right? And he just looks so hurt because he betrayed him.
Yeah.
And the show starts, and it's like all dark, right? And you hear Will Ferrell go, "I'm dirty. I'm a dirty little boy. I am derelict." And the lights all come up. And then Derek comes out, right? And the DJ starts the music. And Derek looks ridiculous. He's got a trash can on his head.
Yeah.
He just looks so stupid.
Homeless fashion.
Yeah. And then right then Matilda yells at him. She says, "Derek, the trigger is relax. That's the trigger." And he's like, "Don't worry, Matilda. I'm already relaxed. I do this all the time." And then she's like, "No, the trigger." And then right then the Ivanka chick starts fighting her to get her out of there.
Yeah.
And then the DJ starts playing, "Relax, don't do it." And then it snaps in. And you hear Will Ferrell's voice, "Do what you've been trained to do, Derek, and kill the Prime Minister of Malaysia." And then he starts doing all this kung fu karate, right? Down the aisle toward the Prime Minister.
Yeah. And
then right then, Hansel drops down in the DJ booth, and he starts fighting the DJ. And he's like, don't worry, Derek, I got your back." And the music goes back to normal, right? And then Derek snaps out of it, and then he starts modeling down the runway again.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the DJ fights Hansel and cuts the music back. Yeah. And then he goes back and forth between killing him and not killing him.
Martial arts and not martial arts.
And modeling.
Yeah.
And they're like breakdance fighting in the studio.
They're
they're doing all that shit. They're just breakdance fighting. And then it's a small. And then, bro, as this is all happening, he's going back and forth. They show it's a small cameo, quick shot of Jack Frost from Blade. He is also in this movie. Just a quick little shot, but I was like, "Nigga, I know you." Don't know.
Wait, you mean Deacon Frost?
Deacon Frost. I always say Jack Frost.
Jack Frost is a whole different character.
But Blade. Yeah. And Jack Frost might have been a better villain.
Oh, maybe. Jesus, what a bad villain. I'm mad he got a cameo in this.
He got it.
Fuck you, Deacon.
So they keep breakdance fighting, and Hansel, right when Derek's about to kill the Prime Minister, and he's got his neck, and he's about to kill him. He unplugs the DJ booth, and Derek snaps too. And then they all the Prime Minister's security grabs him, and they're like, "Oh, Derek was trying to kill the Prime Minister of Malaysia." Everybody freaks out. He was trying to kill the Prime Minister, and then right then Hansel yells at the mic, "That's bullshit! Magatu, it's all his fault." And then Magatu jumps on the stage and he goes, "No, it's Derek Zoolander. It's because he's over the hill. He had to kill the Prime Minister."
You know how it is. Once you go down, you got to kill a prime minister of a third world country, man.
And then Hansel goes, "That's not true. We have 30 years worth of file on this computer. Here to prove it." And he throws the computer down there. And then, of course, it just smashes. And he's like, "Where'd all the files go?" And so right then Ivanka, she jumps on stage and she pulls out a gun and she tries to kill Derek, right?
Right.
She's like, "I'm sick of this." And then Hansel, he pulls out a yo-yo and he yo-yos her.
Yo-yo?
He yo-yos her gun out of her hand.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
He yo-yos the gun out. Yeah.
That tracks. All right.
Right. And then Matilda jumps on her and gets her down with the gun. And then right then Maury steps up, and he goes, "Enough, everybody." He's like, "I got to do this. I have more files on Magatu that'll bring him down for the last 30 years. I've been working with him." And then Ben Stiller's like, Derek's like, "Good for you, Maury." He's like, "I'm tired of you, Magatu. I'm bringing you down." And then he gets on his phone and he calls his wife. And his wife and him just argue about dinner casserole. The tuna casserole.
Yeah.
They never get to it. He's like, "Honey," he's like, "I need you to bring the files for No, I'm going to be home soon." "Yeah, I'd like to have casserole." "Well, it's just casserole." "Well, I'm going to be home soon." "We'll put it in the microwave. Why can't I just microwave?" He's just yelling at the phone.
Yeah.
And then finally, Mugatu goes, "Enough, Ballstein. I'm sick of this. Who cares about Derek Zoolander? Oh my God, he has one look. It's only one look. Blue Steel, Le Tigre, Ferrari, they're all the same. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills." He said, "I invented the piano key necktie. What did you do, Derek?" "Nothing. You've done nothing. Nothing." And he was like, "And if you want to," he's like, "Since that you can't get the job done, I will." And he pulls out a big M throwing star. And he throws it at the Prime Minister. And then Derek goes, "One look. One look." And he gets out of the security, and in slow motion, he gets in front of the M, and it's coming, and he goes, and everybody goes, and his face is glowing, and everybody goes, "It's Magnum. It's Magnum."
That was a great callback.
And it shows Magatu, and he goes, "Dear God, it's beautiful." And then the M gets right to Derek's face, and it stops, and then he matrixes it with his eyes.
And it goes down.
And everybody cheers, right?
Oh, God.
Everybody's cheering. And his dad is watching on TV and he's like, "That's my son. He did it. That's my son. I'm proud of you, Derek." He's saying that to the TV,
Right.
And Matilda runs up and she's like, "Oh my God, Derek, that was amazing." She was like, "You did it." And he was like, "Yeah, I know. I turned left." And she goes, "Yeah, but you also saved the Prime Minister." She's like, "Yeah, I did that too."
Yeah.
And then he makes out with Matilda,
yeah.
And he has all this garbage on his face, and it just smears all over her face.
Yeah,
So
and she makes out horribly with him.
Yeah, so it's just all over their faces.
Yeah,
and they're smiling at the cameras, right?
Yeah.
And it fades out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it cuts back in, and he is now doing a commercial for his center. And it goes through everybody, and Mari's teaching classes to kids on how to make million dollar fashion deals.
Right.
He's teaching a class to them, right? And he goes, and then it cuts back to Derek, and he goes, "Because here at the Derek Zoolander Institute for Kids Who Can't Read Good and want to do other stuff good too, we want to teach kids that it's not just about being really, 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 really good looking." Cut. Cut. And then Hansel runs up and he goes, "Hey, Hansel." And he goes, "Where are you going?" And Hansel's got a bunch of kids with him. And he's like, "I'm taking these kids. I'm going to teach these kids how to go base jumping off a bridge." He goes, "Last one to the helicopter's a rotten egg." And then they all run to
the helicopter.
And then she goes, "Hey, Matilda." And Matilda walks up.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, and he goes, oh, and Derek Jr. And she's got a little son with him. And she goes, hey, it's Daddy. And she goes, guess who made their first look today? And he goes, oh, no way, can I see? And then the baby's like, and then it goes, a jitterbug, a jitterbug, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes, let's go read to the kids. And then he goes and he gets in front of a book and he's
How is
reading
it still going?
Right? He's reading to all the kids, and it's panning out, and it's like, it said, boom, boom, into my heart, yeah, yeah. Like that song's playing, and he's reading to them in front of a fountain of all of his friends having a gasoline fight. It's such a good shot. It's like, they're like only dancing, and that song's still playing,
Yeah.
Wake me up before you go, go, go. Take me dancing tonight.
What's happening?
That's Zoolander, baby.
What the fuck?
That's it.
That's how it ends?
That's how it ends.
That's amazing.
That's right. Perfect.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that movie? What the fuck was that movie?
A great time.
Who thinks? Yes, it's yeah. But who thought of that? I got half of this. I was like, who the fuck thought of this?
I want to say Ben Stiller maybe wrote it. I'm not sure.
I mean, Jesus, whoever wrote that.
They killed it.
I know.
Funny, top to bottom, classic comedy, one of the best comedies. Love everybody in it. Love everything about it. No wasted fat, no bullshit jokes. Tight. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah. Whew. That was great. I enjoyed that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
Fuck yeah, bud.
Oh, man. Hey, by the way.
Yes?
I want to say this. If you live in France or Virginia,
V-Town,
we have noticed, in the Hatterburg, D.C. area, we have noticed you guys like the shit out of our podcast.
So,
hit us
thank
up.
you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Hit us up on Instagram, like Spoil the Beans on Instagram or Spoil the Beans on Twitter. Tell us if you want us
subscribe to YouTube, Spoil the Beans on YouTube.
Yeah. Tell us if you want us to come to your area.
To do a show.
Yeah.
We do stand up and we'd love to be there. We'd love to do a show there.
We'll record a live episode of Spoil the Beans.
Keep listening, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
France, Virginia. Or anyone else, really.
Also, everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else as well. Lots of great listeners out there. Everyone else. Love you guys. Thank you.